Hello, welcome to Angelo Pearl's Critter Village. This is my DIY video explaining how I built my raccoon-proof cat feeding station. But it's not only raccoon-proof. So far it also keeps possum and other climbing wildlife out of the cat's food. I will post all of the DIY information in the description below. I would like to make a quick note that all of the felines you will see in this video have been fixed, vaccinated, and microchipped. This is Bobcat lounging on the feeding platform. He's around 7 years old, and he already lived on the property when we purchased our home. His kittens are Asher and Nibbler, and they're around 9 months old. There were 8 cats coming and going on the property when we moved in. I'll be sharing their stories on my website if you'd like to learn more about them and my TNR efforts. On the right, you can see the cat tower that I built for them to play on, but it also helps the kittens easily jump onto the feeding platform, since they were too small to make the jump from the ground when I first built the platform. Bobcat prefers to jump directly from the ground, and while the kittens are now able to jump directly from the ground as well, they seem to prefer jumping from the tower. You might also notice they have plenty of play stuff and a huge patch of catnip and cat grass. Here are Bobcat and his son Asher eating breakfast. I got this hutch off of Facebook Marketplace for $25, and if you know anything about these hutches, that is a spectacular deal. I reinforced all of the joints and also installed a shelf to create an attic hideaway, and they absolutely love it. The attic is Bobcat's favorite place to hang out when we have rainy days. You can see that as Bobcat lays down, he has clearance underneath the hutch. I did not install the hutch floor, and I also mounted it on a bit of a ledge. That not only works well for air circulation, but the lip of the wood trim also prevents the food bowls from sliding out and falling off of the platform. Hey, Bobcat. I have one of my critter cameras mounted to the front of the hutch, looking over towards the cat tower, but it also looks into the dog yard, which is basically a separate portion of our fenced-in backyard that we've designated for doggy potty breaks. I'll talk more about this camera in a moment. Now let's take a moment to talk about the roof. The roof on the hutch has some decent rough grit shingles, but I prefer to keep roofs in the best condition I can for as long as I can. So I covered the roof with a heavy-duty tarp, folded over a few times to ensure waterproofing. I mounted it with clamps and sealed the seams with waterproof patch and seal Gorilla Tape. I also installed these cute little solar nightlights that come in a 2-pack for like $5 at Walmart. I know the cats are supposed to be able to see in the dark, but I figured I would light up the edges in case they were walking around. Here's the attic that I mentioned. I just used some scrap wood to make a shelf that has some clearance in the front and the back so the air can circulate. They love to play up there. And as you can see, it's quite spacious. Can you see the extension cord? I'm using a green extension cord so that it blends in well, that way it won't be seen in the background of my other cameras. I have it safely recessed under the elevated platform frame so that it doesn't get smashed. The extension cord then runs up the post, along the back. It's taped in place with the Gorilla Tape that I mentioned earlier, and the power line connection is sealed with Tommy Tape Miracle Wrap. The connection is then zip tied to the underneath portion of the platform, and then the camera wires run along the inside of the skirt and again along the outside of the skirt and are taped against the aluminum flashing. That way they don't dangle where they could be damaged or even potentially used as a pull-up rope for climbing critters. This is where the camera wire is taped against the aluminum flashing. Like I said, I have a few different camera setups throughout the critter village. This one is a Kangaroo indoor-outdoor cam. I absolutely love these cameras. I was able to find them at a local liquidation warehouse for a mere $15 each, so I scooped up a few of them. They need to be plugged in for power, and they also require Wi-Fi. As you saw, I have a 40-foot extension cord running from my deck of the house. All of the connections are safely waterproofed with Tommy Tape Miracle Wrap, and I love Tommy Tape Miracle Wrap. The skirt hangs down 20 inches, and it's made of aluminum flashing. I used self-drilling screws to attach the skirt to the wood frame. To prevent myself and the cats from getting cut, I used a little bit of wood trim to cover the top of the flashing, and I also covered the seams and the bottom edge with more of the same Gorilla Tape that I previously mentioned. This is probably a better angle to see how the wood trim covers the top of the flashing. I used a bunch of rocks to kind of secure the base. The platform is sturdy and it shouldn't tip over, but we get a lot of crazy storms here in Georgia, so I figured it's better to be safe than sorry. Here's another view of the connection of the camera and the extension cord, wrapped in Tommy Tape Miracle Wrap, and then it's secured to the frame with zip ties. You'll notice that I had to patch together a couple of pieces of the aluminum flashing. That's only because at the time, the store only had 10-foot links and I needed 12. You can see here, this is the flashing that I used, but I'll update all the information in the description as well. There's Asher again, hanging out in the cat grass and the catnip. He's become my shadow whenever I'm in the yard. The post is a cedar 4x4x4 with a post sleeve that prevents critters from being able to grip, claw, and climb. This post sleeve, combined with the aluminum skirt, is what makes this raccoon-proof, truly. You can see the skirt has some dings in it from where Bobcat uses it as a kick plate when he jumps up onto the platform directly from the ground, rather than using the tower. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. Here's Bobcat jumping directly from the ground up onto the platform. This is slow motion of Nibbler jumping from the tower onto the platform. The distance is 5 feet from the edge of the tower shelf to the edge of the platform landing. I had to move these many times before I finally found a distance far enough that the raccoons would not jump, but close enough that the kittens could still make the jump since they were only around 6 months old when I first built this in April 2022. You can see her thinking about the jump since Bobcat is sitting on the front of the platform. She doesn't want to hit him. And finally, the bandits. I love all wildlife, but the raccoons especially were eating more cat food than the cats were. This bandit really is giving it some thought. As you can see, the 5-foot jump is just too intimidating for them, and now they don't cause a ruckus with the cats or the cat food. So I guess mission accomplished. This was before I had installed the skirt. I love that nightlight. That's Nibbler, the big sister, and Asher, the big brother. The distance from the tower to the platform is 5 feet. From the ground to the platform is 4 feet. The width of the platform is 32 inches. The depth of the platform is 42 inches, from front to back. The hutch measures 33 inches tall, 26 inches wide, and 21 inches deep. And I absolutely have to give credit where credit is due. These are the two YouTubers that I took inspiration from when I was creating my elevated feeding platform. And here are the products that I mentioned in this video. Thank you for visiting Angelo Pearl's Critter Village. I look forward to making more videos for you, so be sure to subscribe to this channel, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram.